You think you're opening a website? You're actually opening an auction.
Marker Dave's placing bets.
Not later, right now. While the page is still loading, a market wakes up. Bids arrive, a winner is chosen, and the entire thing can happen in around 100 milliseconds. That's not a metaphor. That's a documented system. So here's the question. What exactly is being sold in a time window you can't even perceive? Most people think ads are simple. A company pays a website, a banner shows up, end of story. But modern ads don't work like that. Most of the free internet is funded by something colder, real-time bidding. A high-speed market that sells individual ad impressions while you're waiting for the page to load. This isn't a spy conspiracy, it's infrastructure. And tonight, we're walking through it like a case file, using 3 doors. Door 1, who's bidding? Door 2, what's inside the packet? Door 3, what this market actually controls. Before we open any doors, there's one number you need to understand. It's called Tmax. It's a field buried inside the auction specification, short for maximum time, in milliseconds. The hard deadline by which every bid must arrive, or it doesn't count. The auction doesn't run until someone wins. It runs until the clock expires. And that clock moves fast. Depending on auction type, bidder deadlines range from 80 milliseconds to 1,000. Some documented implementations set Tmax at 250 milliseconds. Some supply runs lower, closer to 150. Now consider, a human blink takes anywhere from 100 to 400 milliseconds, which means, in many cases, by the time your eyes close and reopen, the auction is already history. The winner has already been chosen. The ad is already loading. The market has already moved on. You never felt it, because it happened inside the gap between one moment and the next. Here's the first thing most people get wrong. They imagine the auction as a room full of brand managers bidding on your eyeballs. The actual structure is colder than that. An exchange hosts the auction. A bidder, automated software, competes for the impression. And behind that bidder is a seat, the actual entity with budget authority. An advertiser, an agency, a desk. In practice, one bidder might represent dozens of seats, hundreds of brands, thousands of campaigns. It's not Nike versus Coca-Cola. It's machine versus machine, each representing a portfolio of clients, each trained to win at the lowest cost. At the scale this operates, one major exchange has publicly described processing 1 trillion impressions per day, roughly 13 million every second. No human team prices that. No creative director approves each placement. It's fully automated, by necessity. Impression equals share. Demand-side platforms are the trading bots, and Tmax is the closing bell that no one hears. Here's what nobody actually shows you about this system. Not the mood, not the implication, the architecture. Every auction is triggered by a data packet, a structured object sent to every eligible bidder in milliseconds. The specification for what can go inside that packet is public. Let's look at what it actually contains. Site or app context, the domain, the full page URL, refer, content categories. Device context, your user agent string, IP address, the make and model of your device, operating system, screen resolution, preferred language, connection type, carrier, and an advertising identifier. Location, latitude, longitude, and metadata about how precise that coordinate is. User IDs, an exchange-assigned identifier, and a buyer-mapped UID, used to recognize the same person across different systems. Privacy signals. Do not track status and regulatory compliance flags for GDPR, COPPA, and US state privacy laws. Notice what's not in there. Your name, your email, your search history. None of it by design, because this market doesn't need that. It runs on pseudonymous identity, IDs that can be mapped, matched, rotated, and relinked across contexts. Your name is irrelevant. Your behavioral fingerprint is not. The only question the auction cares about isn't, who is this person? It's, what kind of attention is this, and how likely is it to convert? Because this isn't a market for space, it's a market for probability. Door 3 is the quietest and the most consequential. Real-time bidding doesn't need to control what you think. It controls something more structural, what gets built. Because every publisher on this system learns, in real time, what content earns. Not what informs, not what challenges, what earns. And once a market decides what gets paid, it only takes a few publishing cycles before the entire ecosystem starts optimizing for the auction's preferences. Not yours, the auction's. To prove that, we need to follow the incentives. The market is not only bidding on where the ad appears, it's bidding on how likely you are to actually see it. Viewability has industry standards. 50% of pixels for a continuous second for display. Time, visibility, and behavior become price inputs. So what gets built? More slots, more scroll, more autoplay, more sticky. Not because someone twirled a mustache, because the market pays for it. Regulators have described alleged misuse of bid stream level data at scale. Claims of collecting bid request information even without winning, and pairing 500+ million advertising identifiers with precise location data. And separately, competition regulators have framed the adtech stack as a market power issue through major actions and large fines in European proceedings. Every page load is a negotiation you didn't authorize. Not necessarily illegal, not necessarily evil, just automated. You're not the customer. You're not even the product. You're the moment being priced. Creators think they're optimizing for viewers, but most of the internet is optimizing for the auction. Because the auction turns attention into a number the business can live or die by. And once attention becomes a number, the system stops caring what's true. It cares what's measurable. Viewable time, predictable clicks, stable sessions, repeat visits. The point isn't to panic. The point is to see the architecture. Once you see it, you can make cleaner choices. You don't live on the internet. You live inside a pricing system. And that system doesn't need to understand you to shape you. It only needs to predict you. Now you've seen what's underneath that loop. A millisecond auction that decides, before you've even finished loading the page, what content gets funded and what gets buried. Next episode, we go one layer higher. Because once an auction becomes the gatekeeper of what gets paid, it doesn't just sell ads. It quietly starts deciding what reality looks like, what narratives survive, what truths are financially viable, what gets remembered, and what simply stops being worth funding.